Hi, my name is Joel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on our bin that has the hemp bedding in it. So this has hemp bedding and red wigglers, and so far it seems to be doing pretty well. We added food last time. We're probably going to add a little bit of food this time if it's all gone, and we're going to see how they're doing. Hopefully they're still working well in this bedding, and hopefully they're really starting to spread out into the hemp here and really start to consume it and turn it into castings. They were starting to branch out last time, but I'm hoping we'll see more worms kind of work into it. We saw a lot of smaller worms, but not a lot of worms, and most of them were still in the casting section at the end. So with that, let's take a look at this system and see how it's doing. All right, here's our system here, and as you can see, our last update was on 6/30 over here in this corner, and today is the 13th, so it's been 13 days. Or I guess 13 days here. So we've got our lid on right here, or our bubble wrap, and we're going to go ahead and remove that and just see if anything is on here. There's definitely some stuff starting to stick to this, although it shakes off pretty easily. I'm not seeing any worms on here as I just sort of peruse through this, but that's not surprising at this point. But we are seeing some castings build up in the center here. A lot of times I do find that the worms like to push the castings to the surface, so that can happen sometimes where you'll start to see them towards that area. But as you can see right here, it's dry along this edge and a little bit over there. That's where the moisture or the air is escaping. Now I am seeing here a mite infestation right here, it looks like. Now this does not look good to me. That looks like that might be mites on a worm. Oops, here we go. That's not a good thing to see in your bins if the mites are teaming up and eating the worms, it looks like to me. So now this could also be a dead worm that they're chewing on, but that's not normal, and I've never seen that before in my systems where the mites are chewing on a worm like that. And actually, almost looked like that was a cocoon that was next to it. So I've never seen that before in my systems. I don't know if these are carnivorous mites, but normally the mites sort of stick to the food, or if they're running out of food and they're starting to feast on the worms. I don't know. Now we fed on this side over here. We'll start with this side to see how we're doing over here. This is our side, I think, that still should have more of the material that we like. And look at that, we've still got nice healthy worms on this side, and little baby worms too. Look at that little baby worm right there. That is a tiny baby right there. So right there, you can see that. I don't know how close I can get before it goes out of focus. It's hard to tell, but look at that baby worm here. And just a reminder, actually, while we're doing this hemp bedding, I did buy this on Amazon. If you go out to World of Compost, I've tried to put Amazon links to things that I have. You can just check out that site, and there's links to Amazon. They are referral links, but it'll help you find what items I'm using, like these busboy bins, the bedding. And I also have links to worms on there as well if you're looking to purchase to get into this, which I highly recommend you do. This is a fun hobby, at least for me. Maybe not everybody, but for me it is. So far, okay, that first handful was good. The second one, not quite as much. A couple worms in here. I will say this stuff flakes apart really easy, this hemp bedding material. I don't know if they're breaking it down yet. Oh, wait, hold on here. Look at this. We have found a cocoon. That is what I've been looking for in these systems, is cocoons. I want to see that these worms are reproducing and building a bigger population. I'm going to put that right over there. So that's a good sign in any system, I feel, is a cocoon. Got nice worms in this handful as well. Nice big worms over here again. Up, another cocoon. Now, this is one thing I do want to mention. In a lot of these new systems, especially when I start them up, you start seeing a lot of cocoons. And I have found that what is happening is the worms are not used to this bedding material. They're not used to this system or this bedding. They were in a pine shaving system before this. And speaking of that, there's another cocoon right here. And what starts happening is they're freaking out a little bit. They're like, this is different. I don't know what's going on. And they start producing a lot of cocoons. And the next generation is like, this is normal. This is what I'm used to. This is what I grew up in. And they do much better a lot of times in the next generation of worms. And when you're getting new worms or a new system started, you can see that same thing if you're using different materials every time. So you know, because stress causes them to reproduce faster. And actually, here's another cocoon right there. So we can see, I mean, like I'm dumping them in that corner over there when I went the cocoons. Actually, we grab this one out and put that in the same corner over there. So I'm dumping in that same corner so that way I'm not getting, you know, the same cocoon over and over again. But I have found that they stress out a lot when you put them in a new material. And as I was saying, when you get new worms, typically they've been raised in manure or, you know, a very special, very perfect bedding material for them, maybe a mixture of different materials. And, you know, that causes them to then kind of panic when they're in something new. They're not used to this. There's another cocoon right there. Look at that. We're in cocoon central now. All right. Let me pull that one out, put that one over there too. So, but you can see they're producing a lot of cocoons now. I think they're starting to go into that panic mode of we got to prepare for the next generation. I'm not used to this bedding. I'm not used to this material. And they're trying to prepare. And that's what worms do. They prepare. They prepare the next generation. There's another cocoon right there. Right there. So, yeah, so they're preparing the next generation right now in this system. They're saying, I'm not used to this. I'm stressed out. I don't know what's going on. There's another cocoon right here. Oops. Right there. So, I mean, you can just see they're stressing out over this system. They don't know what's going on. They know that this has changed. They were in a pine shaving system, and now they had a lot of castings, and now they're in a different system, and they really want to know what's going on. I'm not seeing quite as many worms over here on this side. I'm not seeing the mites were really only on top. There's another cocoon. Another one right there. Look at that. This is cocoon central in this system. They must either they must really be stressed out, or they must really like this bedding. I'm not sure which, but I would think that it's stress. As I've been saying, I really feel this is stress. They can also really feel like there's a lot of food in here and everything, which could be the case. I mean, they are moving around, and there's going to be more food with all the fresh bedding in here. But I think that this is stress. Now, look at this right here. This is coffee grounds right here. You can see the worms really, really like this right here. There's tons of them on it. Tons and tons and tons of them. They really, really like the coffee grounds. They like the food. We're digging on this food side now. More coffee grounds, more worms. Look at this. It's almost a worm ball. Lots of them on here. They really, really like the food that we're adding. So they're going to need more food in this system. I was going to do a light feeding. I might throw in a lot more. But we do have food left over. A lot of coffee grounds. I'm just going to empty this out. You can see all the coffee grounds. I mean, look at all the worms on the bag of those coffee grounds. I mean, there's just a bunch of them on there. Little baby worms, all types of worms on there. All sizes. I mean, not types really, but sizes. So, all right, let's just dig in this corner right here. Last dig. This one doesn't have much going on. So, all right, so we see what's going on in here. There was that one weird thing with the mites at the beginning. I don't know what's going on with that. Worries me a little bit, but at the same time, one worm over here this one looks like it's ready to produce a cocoon maybe. Again, I think they're a little bit stressed out over this material, if I had to guess, and that's why we're seeing so many cocoons. Or, I mean, it could be something where they're just really happy too. Actually, I mean, like look right here, it looks like this is a cocoon as well. Looks like there's a cocoon right there. So, I mean, they could be really happy. I have a feeling they're stressed. This material might be a little bit more rough, you know, not what they're used to. And I feel that worms, you know, they sort of, you know, just like somebody else, are going to react by stressing out a little bit with the new environment and everything that they're not used to. So, right now, what we're going to do, we are going to do a feeding. I have some lighter food to put in rather than coffee grounds. We're going to try to come back a little earlier than 13 days anyhow. But this is just going to be lettuce. And this is a spring mix of lettuce. It's thawed out a little bit. It's very thin, so I figure they can work at it really well. And this was a lettuce mix that went bad while I was on vacation. Supposed to last for a week. Lasted about 5 days, it looks like. So, you know, I don't feel too guilty about throwing it out, but I really wish that these things would last a little bit longer or closer to the dates on them. So I know this looks okay, but it smelled absolutely horrible when I opened it up. All right, so there we go. We're going to push that in there a little bit. Some of it's thawed out a little bit more than others. And I'm gonna put my mask on here. And I highly recommend, I'm gonna keep mentioning this on my videos, put a mask on when you're working with your crushed crab and eggshell or any type of powder or rock dust. You really should be having a mask on. Make sure you're breathing in some nice clean air and not air with a ton of stuff that can mess up your lungs. Now, with this, we're going to cover this up. This isn't too, not too worried about this time. I mean, it's not freezing cold, sort of like I've had in the past. It was in the freezer, but I kind of let it thaw for a little bit. We're going to build this up a little bit of a mound. Let me just shake off my gloves a little bit here. And now we are going to add some water in here. This isn't too dry. It's not too moist. It actually looks about right, but I think this is a very airy material that's letting a lot of air in, so I think it's okay to add some extra moisture to this. We're just going to add some right here. I'm going to spread it all around. Oops, I think I hit it there. Yeah, I did. And maybe one more. And I don't mind adding, as I said, a little bit extra moisture to this because I'm not really worried about it becoming muddy. This material is so loose and granular that I don't think that's going to be an issue. Now with that, I'm going to go ahead and peel off this label right here. I'm going to peel off this label right here. By the way, on the front here, if you can, let's see if I can push it down far enough, it says 6-9 right here. So we are over a month into this system, and they've already gone through their first feeding of food. They're doing a great job. I'm just going to put the new label on right here. Just like that. And we've got to add our little dash to it. So that way we know we fed them. And there we go. We've got our food in there. We've got it marked. Let's put the lid back on. We're not going to worry about the mites this time. If we really start seeing an issue, we'll really start to do something. But I'm wondering if that worm was just dying already and they were eating it. Or I'm going to assume that this time since I didn't see like a whole bunch of them in there doing that. So that's it for our update for this week. If you have any questions or thoughts, please let me know. And remember, if you visit worldofcompost.com, you'll be able to find some of these items that I have here on Amazon links. So thank you for watching.